More buyers than houses for sale. It's a story we've been telling for quite a while, and it just got renewed for another season because here are 3 reasons why housing supply isn't going to skyrocket. Low housing supply has been a driving contributor to the housing market, and it's going to take more than just a few interest rate hikes or subdivisions to fix it. According to census data, there were 14 consecutive years where new construction was below the 52-year average. And we just had our first year since 2007 where new construction levels have hit the average. Not above and beyond, but they are getting back to normal levels. Now that we're back to normal levels, we still have to make up for over a decade of lost time and houses. So this is not an overnight fix. We can also talk about the mortgage rate lockdown effect, which is something we've seen in 2022 since rates essentially doubled. Many homeowners are not selling their houses as often or as quickly because if they're looking to buy something else, the current mortgage rate is so much higher than their rate right now that the new monthly payment is not enticing. According to the Federal Housing Finance Agency, 44.7% of Americans have an interest rate right now that's lower than 4%. With today's rates of the high 7s and even 8% as compared to the 3% rates of 2020, a home that costs $400,000 could be $1,000 more per month today than it was just a couple of years ago. And no, it does not mean that people with a lower rate are not selling at all. There are still plenty of people who have to sell their property. Death, divorce, distress, any number of reasons. But what we're seeing right now is the sellers on the market are the have-tos. They have to sell because they're relocating, because they've had a change in circumstance. No longer are we seeing people who are selling because they want to upsize and think having a pool would be really great. Because if you don't have to sell, you're probably more likely to stay where you are and keep your lower interest rate. Which is why this stat from the National Association of Realtors makes so much sense. People on average have been staying in their homes longer, an average of 9.3 years. Between 1985 and 2009, it was 6.1 years. In order to flip this inventory and change this market, pretty much everybody would have to list their house in droves at the same time, while simultaneously new construction builds were hitting the market at a rapid pace. That kind of huge shift in available homes for sale could flip the market, but it would require millions of homes to do it. And without a massive change in seller motivation or building times, that amount of inventory just isn't likely. And with some of the compounding issues that are currently affecting new construction, I think a shift in inventory is even less likely to happen. I'm Lindsey Johnson, your resource for all things real estate. See you next time.